80% of transmission failures are caused by overheating or lack of maintenance, yet most drivers don't even know they're making the same deadly mistake every day. What's worse, it doesn't show symptoms until it's too late. In this video, we'll break down the one habit that could be silently killing your transmission and how to stop it before it costs you thousands. Let's dive into it. Bad habits that harm transmissions. Number 1, skipping maintenance. All transmissions rely on clean, sufficient fluid to lubricate and cool their internal parts. Over time, transmission fluid degrades, gets contaminated, or loses viscosity. Neglecting to check or change it can cause overheating and friction damage inside the gearbox. Experts note that regular fluid changes, often every approximately 30,000–60,000 miles, depending on the vehicle, are critical for longevity. Always use the manufacturer recommended fluid type, especially for CVTs, which often require special fluids, and avoid lifetime fill myths or cheap additives that can harm fluid quality. Number 2, overheating the transmission. Heat is a major enemy of transmissions. Aggressive driving, constant hard acceleration, and braking, jackrabbit starts from stoplights, driving in hot climates, or towing and hauling beyond the vehicle's capacity, all put extreme stress on the transmission. This can cause the fluid to break down and internal temperatures to soar, leading to premature wear or even sudden failure. If you tow or carry heavy loads, stay within your vehicle's rated limits and consider external transmission coolers or more frequent fluid changes. Driving more gently, especially until the vehicle warms up, will also reduce thermal stress on any transmission, automatic or manual. Number 3, improper gear shifting. While moving, a golden rule for all transmissions is never shift into gear or park while the car is still in motion. Changing direction, from reverse to drive or vice versa, or slamming into park before coming to a full stop forces the transmission to absorb the vehicle's momentum, which can shear gears or damage locking mechanisms. An industry expert summarizes, don't change direction without stopping, no matter what kind of car you're driving. In practice, always brake to 0 mph before shifting between forward and reverse, and only engage park when the car is completely stationary. This habit prevents strain on gear clutches, and the parking pal has a small locking pin that secures automatic transmissions in park. Using the brakes as intended is much cheaper than a transmission rebuild. Number 4, coasting in neutral. Many modern drivers still believe coasting in neutral saves fuel or wear, but this is largely a myth, and it can be unsafe. In automatics and CVTs, shifting to neutral while coasting downhill or at lights is not recommended. It removes your ability to accelerate out of an emergency and can lead to unnecessary clutch band engagement when going back into gear. Modern engines are smart enough to idle efficiently at stops, so there's no benefit to constantly shifting to neutral. For manual transmissions, coasting in neutral isn't damaging by itself, but you should never coast with the clutch partially engaged. See riding the clutch under manuals. In general, leave the car in gear and use your brakes. Your transmission will thank you for not fiddling with unnecessary shifts. Number 5, overlooking warning signs. Finally, ignoring your car's warning lights or early symptoms can turn minor issues into major transmission disasters. If you see a transmission warning light or notice signs like strange grinding noises, slipping or delayed shifts, shuddering, or fluid leaks under the car, do not ignore them. Driving for too long with low fluid or a minor fault can lead to catastrophic damage. It's far better to have a mechanic address small problems, like a leaking gasket or a maladjusted clutch, before they escalate. Pay attention to what your car is telling you and get any unusual behavior checked promptly. Tips on how to avoid transmission damage. Here are some expert recommended practices for everyday drivers to keep any transmission healthy. Number 1, follow your maintenance schedule. Regularly check and change your transmission fluid as recommended, typically every 30–60K miles for automatics, similar or longer for CVTs, and manual gear oil, according to the manual. Don't buy into filled for life unless it's explicitly stated by the manufacturer for normal use. Even then, many experts still suggest periodic changes. Always use the correct type of fluid for your transmission. For example, CVT fluid for CVTs, ATF for automatics, specific gear oil for manuals. Routine maintenance is far cheaper than a new transmission. Number 2, stop before shifting gears. Make it a habit to come to a complete stop before shifting between drive and reverse, or before engaging park. This applies to all cars. It avoids using the transmission to halt the car's motion. Use your brakes to stop, then shift. Your transmission will incur much less stress by following this simple rule. Number 3, use the parking brake. Anytime you park, especially on an incline, set the parking brake before taking your foot off the regular brake. This anchors the vehicle so the transmission isn't bearing the load. In automatics, this protects the small parking pal from damage. In manuals, it prevents the car from rolling against the gear, and you should still leave it in gear as a backup, but the brake should hold the weight. It's an easy step that many drivers skip, but using the parking brake each time will extend the life of your transmission locking mechanisms. Number 4, drive smoothly and avoid excessive strain. Treat your car with mechanical sympathy. Accelerate moderately instead of full throttle launches at every opportunity. This avoids shock loads and high heat. Likewise, don't slam from gas to brake, and back gradual inputs are not only smoother on the transmission, but also on your entire drivetrain and passengers. If you have a manual, practice rev matching on downshifts to avoid big clutch and gear shocks. In any car, avoid prolonged high-stress activities like towing beyond capacity, hauling heavy loads up steep grades, or racing, unless your vehicle is designed for it. If you do tow or drive in mountains often, consider an added transmission cooler for automatics and more frequent fluid changes. Number 5, don't ride the clutch or the brakes. For manual drivers, keep your foot off the clutch pedal unless shifting. This prevents inadvertent clutch slip and wear. For automatic drivers, avoid resting your left foot on the brake pedal while driving. Even slight brake engagement can confuse the transmission. Only use 2 feet for driving in specific situations, like steep hill starts in a manual or delicate maneuvering, to avoid overlapping brake/accelerator inputs that strain the drivetrain. Essentially, use each control purposefully. The clutch to shift, the accelerator to go, and the brake to stop, and don't mix them up. Number 6, stay alert to problems. Pay attention to any early warning signs of transmission trouble. If you notice slipping, hard or erratic shifting, unusual noises, or a burnt smell from the transmission fluid, get the car inspected sooner rather than later. Catching a problem early, for example, a solenoid going bad or a minor leak can prevent a minor issue from trashing the whole transmission. Modern cars will often trigger a check engine or specific transmission warning light if something's off. Never ignore these alerts. Safe driving also means addressing mechanical issues promptly before you end up stranded with a dead transmission. Number 7, educate yourself on your car. Lastly, know the particular quirks of your vehicle's transmission. Read the owner's manual for any model-specific advice. Some automatics may say not to tow at certain speeds. Some manuals may have dual mass flywheels that don't like certain abuse. Some CVTs may have launch gear or special modes to use. If you're new to driving a manual, consider a lesson to break bad habits early. Understanding how your transmission works can help you treat it right. For instance, knowing that a CVT relies on friction helps explain why fluid care is critical, or knowing how a clutch works helps you appreciate why riding it is bad. A little knowledge goes a long way in developing mechanical empathy.